Welcome. This is homework, Composites Again. You're going to calculate the perimeter area. Please show your work, and it's only 3 problems. So in the first one, we just want the area. So when it's asking for area, that's when you need to divide them into 2 shapes. If I take my red line here, I can put it straight across here, and I have a nice rectangle here at the bottom. And I can see that I have a trapezoid at the top. So this is a base, and this is a base, and then we have our 2 sides of the trapezoid. So if we want to first look at our rectangle, it's going to be a 4 by 8. Do you see that? That's going to be your rectangle right here. So area of a rectangle is length times width. And I have my length can be 8. And my width is 4. So this is pretty easy. You're just going to multiply 8 times 4, and you get area of the rectangle. For my trapezoid, my line at the top, my line at the bottom, and there's my trapezoid. To find area of a trapezoid, you need to know the height, because it's half the height times the sum of the 2 bases. Let's try that one again. So remember, you need to add your bases first. Yeah, that's better. So after we figure out our formula, then we need to do our labeling. So we have a height and our 2 bases. Well, this is obviously going to be a base. And then since this is a rectangle, this is also going to be a base of 8. Sorry guys, I'll fix that in just a second. Base 2, right? This is base 2. Let me get rid of that. Okay, now originally this entire line is 8 inches, but this bottom piece right here is 4, so that's going to leave us with a height of 4, because 4 plus 4 is 8. So all we did was split it in half, and that's our height. So you guys see that? All I did was kind of split this in half. And I took that 8, that was the whole thing, and I made it 4 and 4. So I know my height is 4. And now you come down here and we plug everything in. So we have 1/2 times the height, which is 4, times the sum of the 2 bases. So base 1 we said was 5.3 plus our bottom base, which is the top of the rectangle, so that's also going to be 8. I'm going to put a little V right here, and that is to remind you that you need to solve this first and then multiply. And that should give you the area of your trapezoid. To find the total area, you're going to take the area of the rectangle, and you're going to add it to the area of your trapezoid. Okay, so you're going to take the area of your triangle plus the area of your trapezoid, and you will find your total area. So you can go ahead and pause the video here and do the math. Okay? All right, moving on to the second one. We want to do perimeter and area. In my opinion, perimeter is easier, so I'm going to do that first. Then I'll clear it out and do area. When we're looking at perimeter, we need to find the length of all the sides. So we know some of it, right? We have 8, 6.6, 4, and then we have 2 missing pieces, and we have 2.6 over here. So first we need to find out our 2 missing pieces. If we look at this one first, we know the whole vertical side is 6.6, and we know 2.6 of that. So we need to take 6.6, which is this piece right here, and we need to subtract this little piece here to figure out what's left over for this piece. So see how they're all red and they're all vertical pieces. So we're going to take it and subtract to figure out what's left over to find our x. And that's going to be this guy right here. For the other missing piece, which is up top here, we need to find all the horizontal lines. So we have our full line is 8, and then we know that this piece is 4. So this one's going to be pretty easy. We need to take 8 minus your 4, and that will give us this piece right here. See how all the blue lines are your horizontal lines? That tells me I need to say 8 minus 4 to get the missing length. So to find perimeter, remember that means sum. You're going to add up all your sides. So we're going to take our 8 at the top, this 8, so again this is for perimeter. Perimeter equals 8 plus our 6.6 over here, plus the 4 at the bottom, plus this answer, this missing piece, plus the other missing piece, this guy right here, plus our 2.6, this section right here. So again, 8 plus 6.6 plus 4 plus this missing piece plus this missing piece plus 2.6. And if we add that all up, we should get our total perimeter. Okay? Write this down because I'm going to clear this out so that we can find area. Alright, so I'm going to clear all this out. Okay, now let's look at area, right here, this area, for this guy. When you're finding area, now is when you break it into 2 separate pieces. Perimeter, you don't worry about that because we don't really care about what shapes are on the inside. We just want to know outside. For area, we care about our shapes. So if I break it right, you can break it in 2 spaces, and I don't care which. You can either do a long rectangle at the top and then this one, or you can do a smaller rectangle here and this bigger chunk. I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to have this bigger chunk right here. And then I'm going to have this smaller piece over here. Okay, so there are your 2 shapes, 2 rectangles, pretty easy. You just need to make sure that you figure them out, that you figure out your 2 rectangles. So I think the hardest part here is going to be making sure we get the correct lengths and widths. So again, to find area of a rectangle, it's length times width. For this rectangle right here, we can make our length 4, and our width 6. And it does not matter if you wanted to flip them around, that's fine. Just make sure that you multiply both of them. So we're going to have 4 times 6.6. And that should give you the area of the first rectangle. And then we have the area of the blue rectangle. So that's going to be the smaller, shorter one over here. And you find it the same way, area equals length times width, but it looks like we're going to have to do a little math to figure out our length and our width. We can make, so we don't know our length here, but we do know our width is 2.6. To find out our length, well, if the whole thing is 8 and this part is 4, if we say 8 minus 4, we get our length. That's going to be our length. I'm going to let you do that math. So then down here, you're going to take this piece and you're going to say length, whatever that was, times your width, which is 2.6. So let's put our line here. To figure out the area of the entire little upside down L shape, we're going to take the area of our red rectangle and we are going to add it to the area of our smaller blue rectangle. And that will give us our total area. And I'm going to just write total. Okay, and that's what you would write in the line for area right here. So you split it into two shapes when you're working with area. Find the area of each and then add them together. Last problem is perimeter. So we want to go around this shape. I have 5 yards over here, so this is a rectangle at the bottom, which helps because I know this piece right here is 5 from this line to this line. And then if you've noticed, I have a semicircle. Well, when we're looking for perimeter of a semicircle, this is actually circumference. So if I do the circumference here, going all the way around, I'm going to need to do just like half of it because it's not a full circle. So if we, let's make our circle shape because that's what we're working with here. To be able to find the perimeter, we first have to find the circumference of our circle. So circumference equals, now again, when you're looking at circumference, you have two options for the circumference formula. You have one that has 2 pi r, and then you have one that is pi times the diameter. I am given, see this line right here? This is your diameter, and you're given your diameter is 7. Since they tell me diameter, that is the formula I'm going to use. So I'm going to use pi times the diameter. So pi is 3.14 times the diameter, which in this case is 7. Now be careful, this is a half circle. So once you figure this number out, you're going to want to divide it by 2 because it's half. It's a semicircle. You want to know half the circle. Okay, so that's why we're dividing by 2. And then you should get the area, or not the area, but the perimeter, the circumference of this half circle. So to find the perimeter of the entire shape, we're going to add up these bottom 3, 5, right, plus 7, plus this 5 right here, 5 plus 7 plus 5, and then you're going to need to add in whatever you got for this half of a circumference. So your blue answer, you're going to need to add that. So you should have 1, 2, 3, and this is one number, so that would be 4. So 4 numbers, and that'll give you your total perimeter, which is this answer. All right, that's your homework, 3 problems. If you can do these, I have faith that you will do fine on the test. If you have any questions, please let a teacher know before the test on Wednesday. Thanks, guys.